Justin, I am going to rack the one ball right there every single time.
Victor Lee, table 66. Victor Lee, table 66. You are on the clock. Jack Disney, table 44. Jack Disney, table 44. You also are on the clock. Come on, guys. Let's get your matches. Tim Lawson, table 35. Tim Lawson, table 35. You're on the clock. David Randall, table 38. David Randall, table 38. You are on the clock.
Hello, everybody. Just here to do some commentary for the match between Steve KLINE and Clay BELVOIR. All right. Looks like Clay's gone for the bank here. Great shot. A little bit tough to get on this 3-ball. He's got to end up kind of like right here for this to work. It's kind of the angle that he's looking at right there as well. So we'll see where he gets. He's a little short. He might still have a chance at this. He could maybe throw it in with a little bit, but the problem is the 4 doesn't really pass the 9. He'd have to play a combo. We'll see what he wants to do. He can't really do much here about getting... It depends if he can make this 3 straight in without having to... It looks like he's jacking up a little bit, so he's putting a little bit of left. It's a bit tough. Okay, so again, this 9-ball combo is on. I mean, there's a 4-10 combo too. He might try to play for one of them, or just play for a safety. I don't love going for this combo here now. It's a bit difficult because you got to back cut it, and it sounds like he's going for it by how he just pointed his cue there. But I don't love this. I think I would just trade places with the 4-ball, send it up here, and send the cue ball over here instead. Looks like that might be what he's doing. Yep. It's a nice shot, good containing shot now, and Clay's doesn't have a lot of options here. He really only has this 1 rail, or well, maybe 2 rail kick.
All right, what's up, everybody? This is Dylan Helfingstein out of Beaverton, Oregon. Gonna step in. There was some audio technical difficulties from Kenny. We've got an elite singles match between Steve KLINE out of Vancouver, Washington, and Clay BELVOIR, I believe, out of Seattle, Washington. Clay was a part of the elite Scotch doubles team that won the elite Scotch doubles event as of last night. They went through a two-match grueling finals against Darren Walding and Scott Barnard, and were able to come out victorious. So Clay's probably feeling pretty good about his game right now. And it looks like he's a little bit upset there about the safety. He did get the full hook, but he left the 8 in a position where a jump is very possible. And at this level, you don't want to leave a ball pocketable. Like, he would have loved to have that ball a little bit closer to this long rail. Steve doesn't make it and leaves an opening for Clay. As I was watching a little bit ago, like I said, unfortunately Kenny was unable to have his audio working, but Steve has made a couple of mistakes here. This lead could be just very easily 6-2 to Steve or 5-3 to Steve. He had a wide open table playing shape for the 9 ball and hooked himself on the 10. And gave up that game, and excuse me, another mistake here or there. So by no means has this match been like really one-sided or the other. It just goes to show that even players at this level can sometimes make mistakes. And Clay looks to jump out here 5-4 with this routine 10 ball. We got about 30 people in the chat watching this match. I believe it's one of 2 elite singles matches currently being streamed. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in and supporting EvoSports stream and supporting the pool players in the the Northwest and Pacific Northwest community here at the Lincoln City Chinookwins 25th anniversary BCA tournament. It's what EvoSports has done and how they've been able to bring so many different matches to us, and what a break. Anyway, yeah, what they've been able to do is great. I actually started watching streams of matches that were going on at the coast before I ever actually had been to the coast. Hadn't been to the coast for the first time until 2 years ago. But I remember watching matches before that. Didn't really know much about like the BCA scene. Had heard about it a little bit, but ever since I started going, it's now a part of my yearly trips that I plan. I pretty much base most other vacations and PTO time around the 2 events in April and October. Have such a great time. Love the environment. You have hundreds and hundreds of players that love the game just like you do, and tables that are available to play on. Oh man. That was a tough shot. He was pretty much on the rail, a pretty good distance away. The 10 ball didn't appear to be blocking much of the pocket, if any. However, because of the 10 ball, like, it's right in your sight, it might have had him feeling like it was taking a little bit of the pocket, so he tried to play it to the thick side. Unfortunately, he played it a little bit too thick, and I'm not really much of a betting man here, but if I were, I think I would take Clay to get out here. I mean, really the only true difficult shot, and I wouldn't even say that it's difficult, but the key shot is going to be playing position from the 4 to the 5, only because the 5 appears to only really have one pocket. So he just has to get good on this 4 ball here. I mean, I think that the way he's looking at it, it looks like he's probably going to play to try to come with forward and come 2 rails underneath the 4. just like that, 2 rails. He got a little straighter than he wanted here. If you saw where he pointed, he was looking to follow 1 rail off the long rail to the middle of the table. He's still, because of how close the 4 is to the pocket, I believe he should be able to cheat this and just draw straight back out. Oh, he was able even to get all the way to the rail. That was even better. Anytime you can use the rail to help draw you down where you need to go, it's so crucial. I mean, if I were to set up a shot that I had to stroke and draw 5 or 6 feet just straight back, the amount of times that I'm going to get that like I want is, maybe 60-70% of the time, maybe. But needing to get 5 or 6 feet drawing, and you have a little bit of angle to take you into the rail, and you can use some spin to help pull you down table, it's just so much easier. I mean, you really don't even have to stroke the ball as well. Just the rails are your best friends. For this shot, I think that he's probably going to look to come 3 rails around the 6 and probably play the 6 in the corner near the 10. Just because it looks like, I think that if he were to try to hold this ball with inside for the 6 in the lower right as we see the table, I think that that's a little bit too steep of a cut, a little bit too thin of a cut to comfortably check that ball up. And, Clay's a very sporty player, very talented player. I assume he's going to let the stroke out and just let the ball travel. He knows his lines. He's probably going to end up very near where he's at right now. Like, if I had to guess, I'd say he's probably going to end up right about here. Oh, man. Come on, Clay. You had to be even better than my drawing. What a shot that was. Just draw straight back here. And it looks like we're going to be 6-4 in favor of Clay Belvoir. I'd be surprised if Steve makes him shoot this ball. Oh, okay. I've played with Steve quite a bit. Steve's pretty local to me. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, he's from the Vancouver, Washington area. Very nice guy, very strong player. Doesn't really play much BCA. I'd say, if you ask me, that his Fargo is a little lower than his actual ability. And as we're seeing here, playing an opponent like Clay, I think Steve's Fargo is like a 625, I believe, somewhere around there. And I think that he's more of a 640 to 650 player. Looks like we might have a player break here, so I'm just going to go ahead and mute, and I'll be back when they're back. All right, and we are back. It appears that Clay apparently had won the lag or flip, and he is set to break in the 11th rack. And this is a big rack. At this level, I mean, at any level, obviously, a 3-game lead is pretty substantial, but in this level with an alternate break format, you definitely do not want to go back to, you do definitely not want to get behind 3 games, especially to a player that you're spotting, 50, 60 Fargo points to, because Clay's a smart player and he's going to be getting every other break, which means that, barring a scratch or a full hook, like he's still going to have some sort of judgment to the table, like whether he plays safe or whether he has to push out. So this is definitely a big game for Steve here. The 1 ball drops. He's fully hooked on the 2 with the 10 sitting right in the pocket. This is interesting to me because typically most players you'll see when the 10 ball is sitting like that, they just go ahead and push and pop the 10. And, that way they leave no opportunity for an early 10. However, it looks like the only ball that really would have much of a chance or much of a good chance at being early 10 would be the 7. And again, at this level, I don't think that that's something that they would even attempt if they had 4 balls on the table. Like they're just going to run that out. So I think that he might kick at this ball. Just because you can't really push too much to anything. That doesn't leave something offensive for Steve. I guess maybe if you wanted to, you could push to right here somewhere. Because the 5's tied up. Oh, he did elect. Oh, whoa. He did elect to make the 10 ball and push out. And I like what he did there. He rolled all the way down to the table to where there's no offensive shot for the 2. And really, there's not much defensively either. So that was a good shot. And if you're Steve here, I think you might give this back. I know you don't really giving shots back. You don't want to let the player get another opportunity at the table, but the 5 and 6 are preventing really much of that you can't really bank the ball. It's difficult to play safe here unless you, I don't know how much of the back really has to. Wow, I did not see that angle. That actually is, that's an amazing shot. And that was one of the first things in my mind was that particular shot. But I wasn't quite sure exactly how much angle he had and how much of the 2 ball he could see. That was incredible. You're in a lot of trouble here if you're Clay, because I truly don't believe you have a kicking angle. I'm trying to look here. He's pretty close to the 6, so he doesn't have access to this rail at all. Oh, okay, he's gonna go 2 rails above the side, like this, out there. Sorry, I didn't use the straight line. Yeah, that was a lot to ask. He's really fortunate that 3 ball did not open up the 5-6, because that's really what it was starting to look like might happen. Although, as fortunate as it was that the 3 did not break out the 5-6, the 3 has gone to a position where it is easier to develop the 5-6. So he can play this too. Get to about right here with the cue ball. Oh, nope. Didn't even want to wait any longer. Well, now he's in trouble, because I don't think he has the angle to draw back into the 5-6, and he kind of just made the 5. He actually just made it a little bit worse, because unless you can get in this area after the 4, you don't really have a great safety. Had the 5 not been touched, it was available for more of like a stop shot safe. Steve is a very aggressive player, so I'm very curious to see what he's gonna come up with here. Oh my gosh, I think he might have got the angle to come right up off this ball into this stack. He's got to hit it pretty good. He's got to hit it to the correct side of the pocket. See, try to cheat the pocket. Fortunately, he did not leave much of an offensive opportunity for Clay. I doubt he's going to take on this cut or this bank. if I had to guess, he's going to want one of two things. He's going to thin off the left. Yeah, he's going to thin off the left side, get the 4 ball right here. The cue ball is going to go 2 rails. Just like that. That was a this might be swervable. Might. I mean, you'd have to have quite a masse. Be very confident with your spin here and your speed, because you'd have to go at a fairly slow speed so that you hold for the 5. The slower the speed, the wider your swerve needs to be. So this is it was an effective shot for Clay, and I'm curious to see what Steve does here. Well, he made a good hit, but he has left the breakout shot for Clay, and this is a routine rotation shot right here. Just stun outside, right into this ball. He didn't get. I mean, he obviously didn't get into the 5 as much as he wanted to. A little bit more right spin or a little bit more stun would have hit the 5 more full. But I like Clay to make this ball. Sorry, I had a little bit of a technical difficulty there. My stream had froze, so I had to refresh, so I did not see the shot on the 5. But he is on the 6. It's hard to tell from this angle how close he is if he's able to jack up and shoot this 6 ball into the bottom right corner. I think he's able to. If he's not able to, yeah, they're going to get a ref. He's going for this shot. What I was going to say, though, is that if he was unable to reach or to stun this shot, he might try to thin off the right side like that over behind those balls. But okay, well, it was a good shot. He was a bit straighter than it looked, so he didn't really come much over for the 7. And now here we are with another opportunity to find out what he's gonna do. Is he gonna stay offensive? I doubt he cuts this ball into the lower left corner, only because your best position is here probably with the cue ball afterwards. You're likely to end up somewhere over here. And then, you're tackling another tough shot on the 8. It just really depends, because at this level, they respect the other people's game so much. They don't like them back to the table, but I think he's probably going to play safe under here. That's a good shot. And it's effective, because even though he's not really hung up on he's not close to a ball, the 9 ball is so far out there that I don't believe a jump is the right shot here. And it looks like, as of this moment, Steve agrees. This is a scary situation here, because that 7 ball is in no man's land. So if he decides to kick like he is going to do right before the side pocket with a bunch of running English, you got to hit this with some speed to hope that... Oh, he has a window? Okay. He's going to play with inside and come 3 or 4 rails around to get behind everything else. Just like that. What a shot. What a shot. I did not know that he could see that ball through the 9-10 gap. So, Clay is back to the table. I favor him to hit this ball. He's probably going to call the right side pocket. Problem is, you can't hit this ball too hard if you make it, because your line of the cue ball is coming across the 9 to potentially be snookered on the 9. But you also don't want to hit this too soft to where you leave it hanging in the side pocket. Oh, that was a questionable hit. That was very questionable. I think that if I was Steve, I probably would have had a ref watch that shot, only because it was a kick, right? So, I mean, obviously Clay is pretty accurate. He's an accurate player, but when you're kicking especially under conditions like this. Like, you don't know the speed. The tables are tightened up, if they're widened out on the banks and kicks. I definitely would have wanted to have another set of eyes on that, because this is a big game for Steve, and the difference between ball in hand and this shot is extreme. Ball in hand is like almost a guaranteed out, and he's still probably 30 to 40% to get out here, but it's a big difference. I think that depending on the angle, I had a similar shot yesterday. I think that he can get to this rail and out to about here. It just really depends what that looks like and how comfortable he is when he's down on this ball. Dan Louie in the frame there playing Chad Bisconer. Yeah, it looks like he can go one rail. Look at that, right in my lollipop. I gotta show that to Zach Zager. Two rails around for the 9-ball. He hit that way light. See, this is what I'm talking about. Steve's had multiple opportunities now, and he just seems to continue to get funny. And I really hope he gets out here. He's gonna play this ball probably with a hint of inside and go back and forth twice. Well, look at that. Yeah, see, I think he's feeling it a little bit right now, I'd guess, because now that's the second game that I've seen, and I haven't watched the entire match, but that's the second game that I've seen that he has failed to get out with 2 or 3 balls on the table and an open table, and he's definitely better than that. Steve is a much better player than that. So, I'm not sure if it's who he's playing, or, if maybe he's just having an off day, or if that earlier game where he hooked himself on the 10-ball is just making him kind of feel a little bit of nerves. But I expect Steve to make that 9-ball more often than not. It was a thin shot, or thin cut. It wasn't easy, but he's the definitely caliber of a player to make that. And Clay's going to say thank you very much. Oh, all right. Well, spoke too soon. Lux Shampoo. I'm not quite sure what emoji that was. Is that like holding a baby? I'm not sure. But Clay's not happy with the leave here. He is likely going to be banking this ball, but honestly, he might. Yeah. He's probably going to play this bank thin. He's going to play to the thin side in case he misses, so it can come back up to the middle diamond, just like that. Look at that. I mean, if only I could execute, because I just called that exact shot. I knew that's what he was going to do, but I cannot execute. I probably would have scratched in that same corner pocket and given my opponent ball in hand. But as good as that defense was, he just let a 630, 650 player back to the table who didn't think he was going to be back to the table. And it seems to me that that's more often when these type of random difficult shots are made, because they have nothing to lose. They didn't expect to be back to the table. Oh, he's playing safety. I don't know what that was. I have zero idea what he was intending to do there. That's something that I might ask him about later, probably like 3 months from now when he's not still mad about it. But I'd be very surprised if he was intending to roll up on it, like, that the quote-unquote APA 4 safe. But maybe he was just trying to hit the 10-ball thick enough to send it to, like, right here on the rail so it would force a bank. I'm not sure. All right, well, 7-4 Clay. And Steve's got to be careful because he's had a couple opportunities that he hasn't capitalized on. He's probably, he's probably feeling it a little bit. Just hope that he can let go of that and not let it affect his current opportunity, because he has one. Yeah, Cole Gibbons. Yeah, that's why I said I'd ask him probably about 3 months from now. So usually what people used to do on a safe like this, what I used to do is just try to tuck the cue ball here. But I think a much more effective safety is putting the 1 ball there and getting the cue ball further around. Nope, that's pretty good. What I was saying, though, is that putting the one ball where the cue ball is and bringing the cue ball like this. But the reason that he chose to do what he did there with the cue ball is because the cue ball being locked behind the 9 makes it much more difficult to kick. Whereas if the cue ball was here, it'd be a much easier kick to go 2-3 rails. So he hit that perfect. I think we're probably going to see a 2-10 combo here unless Clay can get this. He's probably going to go 1 rail because if he fails to hit the 1, there's a chance that he might spread open the 2-10. Nope, he did neither. Wow. I bet you anything you couldn't draw a line through there if you were standing behind that part of the table. Like there was no question in his mind if he would be able to go through that without hitting either ball. Martin Chavez, that's my safe. Are you referring to the APA 4 safe, or are you referring to the fact that he sold out at the safe? All right, well, Steve can't ask for much better of an opportunity here after letting a couple games go to come back within 2. I think this 2-10 goes. Even if it doesn't go, the 2 is going to probably track, I'd say, up this way. So, you know, it's kind of a built-in 2-way shot here. He might even draw it a little bit so that he's behind the 3 ball. He might even draw it a little. Sorry about that. I experienced another technical difficulty on my end. The stream froze. I don't know if my Comcast internet is having problems, but apologize. It looks like Steve made that shot. So I'll probably have to go back and watch that later to see if he did, in fact, draw to play behind the 3 a little bit just to ensure some safety, or if he just fully went on for this, if he fully went for the 2-10 combo. Cole Gibbons, when are we going to see you back at Chinook Wins for the Elite Singles? I never got to see you play. I've only ever been able to rewatch some of the videos in past years, but you're definitely a name that I would love to see in the mix, and would love to be, you know, trying to buy you in the Calcutta. What a break by Clay. The 1 ball didn't end up quite where he had hoped, but he made 3 balls on the break and has a direct sight at the 1 ball. And with his ability and his knowledge of the game, this is a very bad sign for Steve KLINE. There's a good chance that he thins this 1 ball and brings the cue ball along this path here for a safe, because the 1 is going to end up in this area here. So you've got a bunch of blockers if you choose to play the safe here. I don't think the bank goes. Yeah, it looks like he's going to play the safe that I was mentioning. See, look at this. The 1 ball. I wish I would have left my lollipop there because I'm pretty sure that's exactly where I circled. The cue ball ran a bit further than I circled, but that's exactly where I thought the 1 was going to end up. I do think that he left an edge of this 1 ball. However, it looks like it would be leading towards a scratch if he hit it. So I think that we might be seeing a jump here by Steve. Yep, he's got the shorty in his hand. Only thing he's really got to worry about is not clipping the 6 ball on the way in. The other thing that he's going to have to think about, depending on how he chooses to hit this, is making sure the 1 ball doesn't come back and double kiss the cue ball. But to be honest, I've seen too many times something like that happen and the cue ball gets safe down table, so that might not be the worst thing in the world. Okay, yeah, he's gonna try to bank to the left side of the table, so this 6 ball is gonna be a big ball here. Not quite as big as his head though, because I can't see what's happening. Oh no, I saw that, and no way, look at this. 1 ball comes down and bumps the 4 out of the way and is gonna leave Clay Belvoir a gift wrapped combo with ball in hand. I got $1 he makes this. The suspense. Yeah, look at that. Well, 8-5 with Steve to break. It's not over yet, but 4 consecutive games against a player of Clay's caliber with alternate break is a tall order. But it all starts with 1 game at a time, and let's see if Steve can claw his way back into this match. All right, and Steve to break. A good break there. It appears, yeah, he's got a shot on the 1 ball. Nothing is tied up. This shot here is going to take a bit of a stroke, though, because I think that the 1 rail is in order to miss the 9, you have to put too much bottom on the ball, which would come here. So I think he's going to have to go with a lot of right spin and come like this. I think that's the only way that he's going to be able to get a good shot on this 2 ball. Oh, okay. Yeah, didn't even think about that. But that shot required a lot more heavy ball contact, which is why he ended up so short on this ball. He might be going all out here for the bank, which this is normally a shot he'd play safety on, but because of the score. Oh, no. He hit that pretty good. The banks have all, from what I experienced, I played in the Elite Scotch doubles, and the banks seem to all be a little bit narrow. I mean, I'm by no means the best banker in the world, so just because I say that doesn't mean that I hit them all correctly. But I did notice that the banks were, all of my banks and my teammates' banks were coming a little bit tight. So I'm not sure if the conditions of the table played a factor there, but albeit that ball hung up, and Clay has an opportunity to run this out and move on to the 3rd round of the A side and the Elite Singles. For this shot, he just really wants to try to avoid being on the rail. That's all he's really looking at. He's trying to decide how much he wants to try to get out of this cue ball. He's just going to stun into that rail, but he has a little bit of angle, so he just wants to decide how much do I want to get out of this. Because of where the 6 is, like, you honestly, maybe even going forward a little bit is good, because then if you're on the rail, you still have angle. Little stun follow here. Yep, perfect. This shot, he's likely to come 2 rails, I'd say. He's probably going to come into this rail like this, and then here with some high inside. Oh, he might be, or he's drawing straight back. Didn't have as much angle as I thought, I guess. That's a very good stroke. He is on the A side. I don't think that he can comfortably miss the 10 from this angle. So he's probably going to have to stun over, draw over to this right side long rail. And you would like to be as close as possible to this, just because of where the 8 is. You don't really want to have an extreme angle. Very manageable. He doesn't even have to come to the other side of the 9 ball. He can check this up enough to where he can end up right about here and just take that 9 ball. It depends. I play very different. I like to finesse balls in a little bit more. I'm assuming that Clay, being a much better player and playing on bigger tables, he might elect to stun this ball over. Higher players typically don't like to slow roll balls, so I'm curious to see how he handles this. Okay, he shot it just how I would have shot it. Great shot, and he's in a really good position to take this match. This is all preference at this point. You have a wide open table. Some players like to play this with a high ball and come 1 rail out. Some like to go 2 rail stun. It just really is all preference at this point. He had a nice little kill shot there, and he's straight in on the 10 ball. And that does it. Clay Belvoir takes the match 9-5 over Steve KLINE on the A side of the Elite Singles. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching. Just wanted to give one last shout out to EvoSports Streaming. Thank you so much for making this possible. Being able to bring this to you wherever you are during your work day or your your evening with the family. This is all made possible by those guys over there at EvoSports and what they're doing. They're putting